Dave Hogsett here for Practical Shorin-ryu. We're continuing our series on solo training drills with the target mitts, looking at some basic applications for Matsubashi Shorin-ryu's Fukyugata Ichi. Again, other Shorin-ryu systems also use this kata. A lot of basic techniques that many systems use, so hopefully this can be applicable for a variety of folks. All right, in one drill we looked at kind of keeping the enemy from getting a hold of you because they want to grab you and strike you, right? So we had that sort of parry grab, elbow strike, takedown, punch, right? Well, sometimes they get a hold of you. Sometimes you're caught unawares. You try to parry and grab. You try to keep them from getting, but they get a hold of you anyway. So we need to learn how to deal with that situation. So high blocks can be a really good technique to deal with that. Now again, they're called high blocks, and that's a little bit misleading. You're not necessarily blocking high. Instead, you're receiving high. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion on how we interpret the uke and so on. But anyway, so I'm looking at this basic motion, right? I'm looking at that as a way to strike the neck, as a way to help you deal with someone who's gotten a hold of your lapel, shoulder, throat, arm, whatever, right? And again, the idea is they're holding on to you so you can't get away, and they know exactly where you are so they can keep hitting you repeatedly. That sucks. You don't want that, right? So this can help you defend against the instance where they actually get their hands on you. So also in this particular drill, you want to remember that they've gotten that lapel grab, that the other hand is coming, so you have to make sure you're covering. So you want to incorporate that into your practice as well. So let's look at how we might apply the high blocks in Fukyugata Ichi as a way to defend against lapel grab and attempted strike against you. So again, in the kata, we've done low block, reverse punch, low block, reverse punch, low punch, 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 and then there's that big pivot into a low block and a high block. So looking at it from this angle, there's a big pivot into that low block, and then we have a high block, low block. So that's what I'm looking at in this particular drill. You're looking at the high block and then pivot, low block. In the kata, you've got another high block, reverse punch. That'll be in the next video. But for now, we're looking at this high block technique and then the low block following that high block. All right. So what we're looking at here is the person your enemy has gotten a hold of your lapel, and they're going to be raining punches in against you. So as they've gotten a hold of your lapel here, you're going to reach that hand up and seize their hand, their fist that's grabbed here. That way you know where it is, you can kind of manipulate and do something with it. And then this hand needs to cover because that other hand's coming. Very rarely does someone just grab you and hang out, right? Now sometimes you'll see certain videos where people say, oh, someone gets a hold of your lapel, then just take it and twist. Well, if you pressure test that, someone's got a really serious hold on your lapel. You're not going to be able to just grab their hand and do a little wrist pivot, wrist lock type of thing by itself. However, if you get some strikes in first, that sort of peeling off might very well work. So that's what we're going to be doing in this particular application. So you're going to imagine the person has grabbed here, so they've gotten a hold of you, you can expect those other punches coming. So this hand comes up, you're going to cover, okay? Then immediately the wind up from here, as they draw back for that next punch, you don't want to stand there and start taking punches, right? So you've covered, but their arm is right here. So you're going to grab their hand here. The wind up for low block is here, right? So we've got that hand comes across for the wind up. Well, I'm thinking of that wind up, that transitional movement, as hitting the crook of their elbow. And that can get pull their upper body down a little bit and might expose their neck. So you're going to step in, hit the crook of the elbow, and then just follow their arm right up to where their throat is. And just start striking into their throat. Right? That's going to get their attention. Right? So you've hit them a few times. They might cover, they might try to keep you from striking, but they've stopped punching you most likely. Right? So you're hitting them there. When they start to cover up or try to deal with your strikes, at that point, they've most likely loosened up their grip a little bit here. Okay? So you're striking their throat. Now you can reach back. Then the kata says step to that angle and do a low block, where I'm going to think about peeling, stepping over. As I'm peeling, I'm controlling with this hand here. That elbow is probably starting to come up a little bit. I'm going to use my low block as a kind of pressure down to get a quick arm bar. Okay? That should get their arm like this. Their head is now down. Okay, so I've got that low block is applying an arm bar. Now their head is here. You've got some options. You can strike, or your knee is here. So you can grab right into some knee strikes. Right? And you can work both of those. So let's see that particular application using the target mitts. All right, so we've got our target mitt here. Now again, you're going to have to be creative here. You have to do some visualization. You have to remember what you're applying and what's grabbing and all that. So I think that's kind of a benefit here. Some might see that as a flaw. I see that a little bit as a benefit because it forces you to keep visualizing what it is you're actually doing. But the weakness, of course, is that you're not actually practicing certain grabbing, hikate, and so on. But again, this is not meant to be an exclusive drill. It's part of a whole training matrix. It's also something that helps, again, to supplement our training, because many of us are still locked down, or we're in a dojo, but they're not allowed yet to do partner training. So you can do these types of drills in the dojo. All right. So what we're going to do here is, remember, the person is grabbed. In terms of the formal application, this hand would come here. You would strike into the crook of the elbow, strike their throat. What we're going to do here is we're going to imagine your own arm is your enemy's arm. So your shoulder, they're grabbing your lapel here. That's the crook of their elbow. Okay? This is their throat or their neck. So as they grab, okay, you've messed up, you've tried to keep them from getting a hold of you, it didn't work. They've gotten a hold of your lapel. All right, they're going to start raining punches most likely. So they grabbed you. You want to practice that cover, all right? So you've covered. Now once they pull that hand back, you're going to step in, strike the crook of their elbow, all right? So you're going to hit your own crook of your own elbow, right? So you cover, step in, hit the crook of your own elbow, follow their arm up to their neck, strike right into their neck, right? That should loosen things up a bit. Now there are a variety of things you can do from there. Right? From here you can do knees, you can do a variety of things, right? But let's just look at what the kata is providing for us as an option. All right, so you've covered, hit the crook of the elbow. Notice when I hit my own, see how that pops in? It makes it almost very realistic in my view. All right, so you covered, crook of the elbow, you struck here, so now you're going to pull back. Remember, in reality, their hand is here. So now you hit them. Hopefully they loosen that grip a bit. You're going to grab here. Now you're going to step over into your low block. I'm going to peel that wrist around. Keep hold with this hand as I apply pressure just above their elbow. Sink into my forward stance. There's that low block position. I'm basically here doing an arm bar. The purpose of this arm bar is to reposition their body, to put them in a disadvantaged position so I can now start striking them. In other contexts, like police enforcement, military enforcement, where you might need to control the person, you can then use that arm bar to control, get on the ground, cuff them, whatever. But for civilian self-defense, we're using the arm bar not in and of itself, but rather as a quick intermediary technique that repositions the person so that you can then do some more striking and get out. Okay, so we've stuck, we've peeled, we've got the arm bar real quick. Now from here, we can either strike their head, because their head is right here. You can use your own hand, this could be palm heel to the back of their head, and then away. Or you can strike, peel, get the arm bar, maybe the head is right here, you can get some knee strikes in. Grab their head and pull them right into that knee strike. Or you can use that back leg. Right? Peel them around, got the arm bar, grab the head. This one is coming from Cleveland, right? Bang, bang. And you can bash them and away. Right? And then you would just switch up and do it to the other side. Right? So you got your other hand here. You grab, you cover, hit to crook the elbow, strike, peel, get the arm bar. You can either then do your palm heel strikes, or cover, strike, peel, arm bar, knee strikes, or the knee strikes from Cleveland, right? So you've got the cover here, peel, arm bar, grab the head, knee strikes, and away. So you've got options here. But again, we're looking at how we're using the high block, low block as a way to deal with someone who's gotten a hold of your lapel and you're striking their neck, peeling them off, repositioning their body to set their head up as a clean target to either strike with your hands or strike with your knees. And then practicing that using your target mitts in solo training. Hope that's been helpful, and I hope that gives you some other ideas.